welcome in, guys. Nice little Monday night doubleheader, and it lands in a push for us on the Bengals game. That was our one bet yesterday. Cincinnati -3. It looked like we were going to cover up 10 for most of the back end of the game, but couldn't hold on to get the push late. Better than a loser, though, so we'll take the push. Still keeping it 19-5-1 now in the NFL. And other than that, no baseball bets yesterday. Short card, a pair of MLB bets out so far today. We're going to run through the card. If you guys want those bets, you know where to go, howtobeatthebookie.com or the website. Like, comment, subscribe below. And we got a birthday in the house. Happy birthday, John. How you doing today?
Great. 39 years old today, guys. So keep those birthday wishes coming. Yesterday, couldn't get more of a reason why not to lay favorites in NFL. It's called the backdoor. Looked like a game that we had up 10 points and going in again, a phenomenal interception by the Rams in their territory, or that game's over with another field goal. But when you're laying anything more than 3 points, you've got to crush your team. You've got to be up by 2 touchdowns or that back door is open. And they found it. We'll take the push. Still off to a phenomenal start, 19-5-1. Again, only one bet yesterday. So we had guys breaking balls all day long. Guys, we're not going to deal with this. Don't DM me. Is the bets out yet? Any bets? I don't see any bets. Guys, when we have a bet, we'll put them out. 9 bets on Sunday. 9. We had 9 bets on Sunday. Yesterday, 1 bet. We bet when the spot is there. And when the spot was there, when we knew Burrow was going to play and wasn't a cripple, that's when we made the bet. This is how we bet. We bet with an edge, not just because it's a Monday night or a Thursday night game or it's the 4 o'clock. We bet when there's an edge. That might be minutes before the game, or it might be, as we did yesterday, sent out a game for the weekend. So that's when it goes. Don't, guys, if you're just an Access member, you don't have the VIP membership. You can't just keep asking, I don't see a bet, when's there a bet? This is why I tell you guys, this is why we're stopping the access, and it's going to be just VIPs, so you get a notification to your phone as soon as we make the bet. But getting back to last night, we'll take the push. We win some games like that. You lose some games like that. And yesterday was a push like that. Pretty much looked like we had that game covered the whole second half. Me and Ben actually spoke about that joke of a Rams offensive line. Bengals getting there at will in the second half. So thought we were going to pull that one out. Wasn't meant to be. So we'll go on from there. Hope to keep the football as hot as it's been. But let's do a real quick abbreviated version because I want to get out and celebrate my 39th birthday on my way to the lake house up in Georgia. We're actually in Georgia right now at a hotel, and it's pouring out. So that's why we'll spend a couple of minutes, but then we're on the road. So take it away, Ben.
Yep, let's go ahead and dive on in. We have a doubleheader off the top of the card. Dodgers at Colorado. Dodgers coming off a nice series versus the Giants. 8-2 their last 10. You have this Rockies team who was just getting beat up there. They've now lost 7 straight. However, they did go 5-2 in the last homestand. This is a matchup Dodgers have beat up on the Rockies this season. Usually Rockies take a bit more in Coors. Obviously, they've only played the 1 series there, but they've won 8 of the 9 meetings. They did meet at the end of last season in 2022. Rockies won 3 of 5 there. Dodgers obviously were resting guys in that series. Going to be looking for that in this doubleheader today. Which game do the Dodgers rest players? That's going to be the look. That's going to be the angle in betting this game. So far, no one listed yet in game 1 here for LA. They did have originally Miller. He was bumped to game 2. Waiting to see who they come out with game 1, and then need to see lineups here basically with the doubleheader. It's Anderson going. He's actually been pretty decent coming off 2 quality starts for the Rockies.
Yeah, this is all about the lineups. I cannot imagine Dodgers playing everybody, meaning Betts, Freeman, Will Smith, obviously catch both games. It's a doubleheader. The Dodgers they're in no man's land. They're the 2 seed. They're not going to be the 1 seed. Just nothing for them to play for. And as Ben said, last year, Dodgers in a similar spot. Rockies take 3 of 5. We expect the Rockies to sneak 1 or maybe 2 in this series here. Depends on the lineups, the pitching matchups. Got to be a how to beat the bookie member to get those. We'll be off the air shortly, way before we get that information.
Then we have the Pirates at the Phillies. It's going to be Keller versus Nola in this one. Both teams playing pretty well right now. Pirates, they've won 4 or 5. You have the Phillies, they've won 5 straight, coming off a sweep of the Mets. Pirates did win 2 of 3 back in July. Phillies won 6 of 7 meetings last year. Keller, he has just been as hit or miss as it comes. Last time out, 7 runs, 9 hits, and 5 2/3. Before that, 8 shutout innings. And if you look at his 5 starts, it's been 3 of them of just 1 run in 3 different starts. And then he has 2 starts where he gave up 6+ runs. So really hit or miss in his last 5 starts. We'll see what he gets today against the Phillies. Was decent against them back in July and has had road struggles. And Nola, he's coming off a bounce-back quality start, 2 runs in 6 innings. Before that, he was roughed up for 14 runs and 13 2/3. That comes off the quality start against Atlanta. So he was going horrible, facing the best team in baseball, and that's what he needed to get his rhythm, I guess. So 2 pitchers who've been really hit or miss lately. What are you going to get out of a bit of a coin flip? Phillies, not much to play for. Obviously, they still haven't locked the top spot in the wild card, but they would basically have to lose out in order to lose that top wild card spot. So one of these wins away from clinching. This would be Pirates or nobody. You have 2 pitchers hit or miss. Take the plus 200 dog and hope he's hitting.
Yeah, well, guys, that all depends on what the price is. We'll see what the price is on that one. But yeah, Phillies 1 game away, coming off a 4-game sweep against the Mets. Pirates are playing good baseball right now. They were down 9-0 a game at Cincinnati. Come all the way back to win that game. They're just playing good ball on the road. It would have to be Pirates and nobody again. We'll wait to see what that actual line is. The first line I see up is 165 on the game. No bet at that price for me.
Then we have the Marlins at the Mets. Marlins currently 1 game back of Arizona and the Cubbies for that final wild card spot. Arias did not play last time out. Got to see if he's coming in. It's going to be a Garrett versus Lucchesi. Lucchesi, last 2 starts, 4 runs, 2 earned, 12 2/3, pretty decent. One of those against the Marlins, 1 against the D-backs. And then Garrett, he's just been terrific. 4-2, 2.36 since August. Last 2 times out, 1 earned run in 12 innings, 14 Ks, 2 walks. One of those against the Mets, 2.63 ERA in 3 outings versus the Mets this year. And great road numbers, 2.56. Going to give Garrett the pitching edge. Not too drastic, though. I mean, Lucchesi's been pretty decent. So it's still going to give it to Garrett, just a longer track record behind it. And got to see what's going on with the Rise. If Rise in, I like Miami in this spot. 1 game back. Mets have had a lot of success in this matchup. They've won 7 of 10 meetings this year. But it's a Marlins team who's desperate for wins right now with a pitcher who's been their most consistent, considering all the arms they have. It's impressive. Garrett's been the most consistent for them down the stretch.
Yeah, I'll give Garrett a bigger pitching advantage over Lucchesi, and he's been really good on the road also. Again, Marlins, they hit lefties, so I'm going to give them the edge there. But got to see if Major League leading hitter Arias is in the lineup. He missed the last game. He fell down the dugout. This is a freak injury, not a baseball-related injury. Missed his last game. Mets have had their way with the Marlins. Not only that, 7-4 their last 11 at home. So this isn't a layup. I want no part of the Marlins as a road favorite if Arias is out of the lineup.
Then we have the Cubbies at the Braves. Again, Cubs, another one of these teams in this wild card race. Braves all clinched up, just kind of playing out the string a little bit here. See if they rest anybody in this series. Cubbies, they come in 4-2 homestand. They sweep the Rockies. Braves, they take care of business there against Washington after a little cold spell. Steele versus Elder. Steele was going terrific. Lights out baseball for better part of July and August and even the start of September. In the last 2 starts, 12 runs, 15 hits in 9 innings. That's against the Pirates and the D-backs. Did have a decent outing against the Braves earlier this year, 3 earned and 5 1/3. They win that game. And then Elder, he hasn't been any better. Last 2 starts, 8 runs, 12 hits, and 8 2/3, 6 Ks, 5 walks. And Cubs got to him earlier this season, 7 runs, 5 earned, and 4 1/3. I'm going to give Steele the pitching edge. Nothing too drastic, though. Both guys just not looking the same right now. We'll see who bounces back today. This is Cubs all the way to my eyes. This is a Cubs team fighting for a wild card spot, holding on for dear life. And if they hold on to this wild card spot and make the playoffs, obviously this is a potential playoff matchup they can see if they have any success. You got the ace on the mound. You need a win here. Steele, horrible last 2 starts. But we saw Noah horrible last 2 starts and get right against Atlanta. We'll see if Steele can pull that off as well.
Yeah, you got a couple of young pitchers here that were phenomenal early part of the year, and that's the exact thing. Couple of young pitchers. Steele now 168 innings, just 119 last year. So he's to that point, maybe a little tight. Absolutely crushed his last time, couple of times out. Elder, he was pitched great earlier in the year. You go a little further back where he's been starting to get hit. Braves are just the Braves, and even though we've got locked up, they just got a lot of scoring. They absolutely also crush lefties. They hit lefties at 288. Want no part of steel here. Cubs need this one. The Braves don't. Just can't pull a trigger. It's a small number. If I would take a shot at the Cubs at a bigger number, but not at plus 120, I don't see any value in that.
And now we have the Cardinals at the Brewers. Brewers trying to clinch it up today. They just wrap up a road trip where they dropped the last two at Miami. Sometimes you wonder on situations like this where you have a team, opportunity to clinch and, they lose at the back end of the road trip. First game of the homestand, I imagine they clinch today in front of the hometown crowd and everything else. So we'll see if they get it done against St. Louis. They get the pitching edge, Hauser versus Thompson. Thompson, last two starts, 8 runs in 10 innings. Hauser, last two, 3 runs in 11, coming off a quality start versus St. Louis. Cards have dropped 5 of 6. Brewers 4-2 their last 6. This is Brewers spot or nothing. Not looking to lay this favorite price, but they want to get this win, clinch it up in front of the hometown, and be able to rest up some guys down the stretch of this week.
Yeah, they sure do. And St. Louis is just a dead team. They had that one win out in San Diego, but they've packed it in. Everybody's on the injured list except Goldschmidt. Want no part of St. Louis in this spot. Milwaukee, but not laying this number, obviously.
And Padres at the Giants. Nice pitching duel last night. Snell versus Webb. Snell goes 6 shutout, but can't go the distance. Meanwhile, Webb goes all 9, only allows the 1 run. And that's a little bit of old school baseball for you, but take that guy who can give you 9 innings. It means something, and that's what Webb did. Leads the league in innings, and it showed why last night. Giants, they scored 2 in the 8th in order to come back and win that one. Lugo versus Harrison today. Lugo gets the pitching edge. 6 of his last 7 starts, quality starts. The last 2, though, 5 runs in 12 innings. Not lights out stuff, but still solid. He has been solid against the Giants. 1 run in 11 innings and 2 starts there. Harrison was better his last time out. Prior to that, though, just brutal. It's a rough start to his career. One of those rough starts against the Padres. 6 runs in 5 2/3 earlier in September. Pitching edge to Lugo, but really weird series here. 2 teams who are just freshly being knocked out of the wild card race. Technically, Giants aren't mathematically erased yet after their win yesterday, but they're bound to be sooner than later. So 2 teams just kind of playing it out who've been recently eliminated. Pick your poison. We Padres are nothing off a pitching edge, but recently eliminated, like I mentioned. Giants also 9-2 their last 11 home games.
Yeah, Giants been playing really well at home. Just been a disaster as we documented on the road. San Diego came in red hot. They just waited a little too long. Big time pitchers duel, as Ben said. Snell and Webb yesterday in a pitcher's ballpark, San Francisco, and you got a couple of pitches not expected to throw that type of game today. Although Lugo's been better. This is just who handles it, who wants it more. The teams are out of it. Really nothing to play for here. You want to see the San Diego sit a couple of guys. Machado, if you guys know, he's going to have off-season surgery. He's been playing injured for the last month or so. So is he in the lineup or they finally take him out? We'll see. Only if there's a disaster and San Diego sits everybody, could I take the home dog in this one behind Harrison.
And we have Royals at Detroit, the red hot Royals, I should say, 10-1 their last 11, playing good ball right now. Sweep 3 games against the Astros at Houston as they're trying to clinch up a division race, and big baseball. Maybe a letdown, you could argue, from KC, but hey, 10-1 their last 11, playing good ball right now. Olsen, who's going for Detroit, pitching phenomenal. 4 straight quality starts, 3-1, 1.40 ERA. Last one, nothing but at Dodger Stadium, 1 run in 6 innings. Tough place to go get a win in. Gets it done there. Greinke's been horrible. Hasn't gone out of the 3rd inning in September yet. Hasn't gone past 4 since the 1st of August. So not going far into games, but they did get wins his last 2 times out. Just 2 runs in 5 2/3. A massive pitching edge to Olsen today. But KC's been hot. So slightly into the Royals here, just in the fact they've been hot. I don't want money on Greinke. I like the way Olsen's been looking lately. But, hey, 10-1 team who's big plus money, it's definitely appealing.
Yeah, that was the mixed bag. You got KC red hot, but you got Greinke on the mound who's just not going deep into the game and not going deep, not going 3 innings in a game. And he's been horrible on the road the last 2 years. Against Olsen, we were on Olsen his last time out against Dodgers. He turned in a real pretty performance for us. Don't want to buck that trend. Detroit was playing real good on the road, not so much at home. Well, over 10 games under 500 at home, but playing great on the road. Going to just stay off this one. Like I said, you get the pitching edge, Olsen, but KC, they're red hot. Definitely wouldn't lay this, even though Olsen's been great.
And you have the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Yankees coming off winning 2 of 3 against the D-backs. 11-3 their last 14 road games. Been getting it done on the road. Then you have this Toronto team, 7-2 their last 9. They just took 2 of 3 at Tampa Bay. Yankees, they did win 3 of 4 at Toronto earlier this year. Just mentioned their road success lately. King versus Gosman. King's been going pretty well. 1-2, 1.66 ERA in September. He's coming off a quality start versus Toronto. 13 Ks, no walks for a guy who's been in the bullpen for the majority of the season. They've been recently stretching out of the starters since the back end of August. 13 Ks in a start to go 7 innings. That's a successful transition from bullpen to the rotation. See how he goes here, seeing Toronto twice in 1 week. And then Gosman coming off another great start against the Yankees. 6 shutout innings versus them. He's really owned them this season. 2-0, 0.09 ERA, 0.90 ERA, excuse me. Pitching edge, still going to give it to Gosman, but King's been going really well lately. This is a look at the under, I think, in this matchup. We'll see if these pitchers get cracked. Being seen by the same team twice in 1 week. Slightly into the Yankees here. Not much to play for, but they keep throwing Judge out there. You hear them talk about trying to avoid going under 500. And if you can't make the playoffs, the next best thing you can do is knock out one of your division rivals from the playoffs. So maybe they get up here one more series against Toronto, try to cause some havoc in the wild card race. Slightly into the Yankees, but staying off this one.
Yeah, I thought the Yankees might rest Judge yesterday, coming with an early afternoon game. But I understand them playing him. It was a home game. Now they go on the road. Here's where you get to see, do they rest him? They give him a little day off. High number. Gosman he's an overlay every time out, but because he's been pitching phenomenal against the Yankees. King, great. What a surprise that they gave him, turning him into a starter. Guys made the transition, unbelievably. So big number. Yankees are nobody, but Toronto still does need wins. Yankees could sit Judge or Torres. We'll see how that goes. Just another game not interested in.
Yeah, definitely want Judge in there. He most home runs there against Toronto. Plays really well in that ballpark. We'll see what happens. Rays at Boston, other AL East matchup. Waiting to see what's going on with Diaz and Herrera's Arena. The Rays' chances of catching Baltimore slim to none at this point. They're now 3-5 their last 8. You have this Red Sox team playing brutal baseball right now. 2-8 their last 10. Their season's wrapped up, and Rays have dominated this matchup. 9 of 11 meetings this year. 3 of 4 in Boston. Eflin's been solid. 2-0, 3.68 in September. He's been pretty decent against the Red Sox in that one start, 3 runs in 5 innings. Going up against Houck, who's been all right. 2 runs in 10 innings, did have 11 Ks, 7 walks. Don't love that K-walk ratio. And another one of those guys struggles a bit more in Boston. Eflin gets the pitching edge. Rays get the team edge. Rays team ownership. Have to see what's going on here with a couple of those guys questionable, but could be worth the cheap price here or a road favorite for Tampa Bay. Just got to see. Are they getting up for this game? Do they still think they have a chance at winning this division, or are they going to start pumping the brakes on the back end of the season now?
Yeah, while they're playing the Red Sox, the Orioles get the Nationals at home. So going to be tough to catch them, and nobody's catching Tampa Bay. So they're another team, like we say, in no man's land. Just really not much to play for. If you're not going to get the 1 seed, you're going to be the top wild card. Ruts Arena, Diaz questionable. If you don't think you're going to make that, so you probably rest them this close to the playoffs. But it's Tampa Bay and nothing. They've owned the Red Sox this year. Eflin gets the pitching edge, and the Red Sox are just there from hunger. We bet against them Sunday with the White Sox, and here come the Rays to town. Want no part of the Red Sox here. But again, without Diaz or Ruts Arena, there's no value in laying the road favorite.
And we have A's at Minnesota. Twins, another one of these teams in no man's land, not going anywhere. Clinched the division already. We'll see what they have going on today. Oakland, brutal right now, 2-9 their last 11. Twins playing decent. They've now won 4 or 5, beat up on the Angels in their last series, and they've had success in the matchup. They have won 8 of the last 9 meetings. Blackburn versus Ober. Ober gets the pitching edge, but 2 starts since coming back from the IL, 4 runs, 10 innings. Another one of these guys who's recently come back off the IL, heading into the postseason. Don't see him going much further than 5 innings. There's no reason to push it, especially against the A's. Blackburn in September hasn't been as good, was decent last time out, was really doing well in August. We'll see if he can get back to that. But it's just a big prize for a Twins team whose season they're just obviously looking past this week on into the playoffs and who they're going to get in this wild card race. Oakland or nobody here could catch Minnesota sleeping.
Absolutely. First, just let me correct Ben on one thing. So Ober is coming back from a trip to the minors. He was sent down, so he's being recalled, not coming off the IL. But in the same case, 5 innings with 2 runs in his last 2 starts. Figure him for the same. And A's 2-9 their last 11, but 2 of those wins came in the last series at home against the Tigers, who played good on the road. A huge number. Again, Twins nothing to play for. That's why we bet against them the day after they clinched. We took the Angels plus 190 on Saturday, came away with the winner. We thought they'd rebound the next day. They did. Here could be the fall down spot again at a huge plus 200. Only reason I didn't jump on this already, Blackburn hasn't been as good. His last 3 starts, 0-2, 6.55 ERA on the road. 2-3, 4.72. So it'll be Oakland and nobody. This is going to depend on the price. Got to remember something. Right now, Twins, they've already had Buxton on the IL for quite a while. And just over the weekend, they placed Correa and Royce Lewis both on there. They're playing with a B squad right now, with nothing to play for.
Then we had the Rangers at the Angels. The Rangers got another win last night. They've won 3 or 4 at LA this year. They've now won 6 straight. Angels continue to struggle, 2-10 their last 12. Angels do get the pitching edge today, though. Bradford versus Detmers. Bradford used as relief for the last couple of months. In September was going solid. 5 relief outings, didn't allow a run, 7.1 shutout innings. And then he comes out in his last time out for a start, gives up 6 runs in 3 innings at Cleveland. So that didn't go well, moving him out of the bullpen. Did have a decent start versus the Angels over the season. And then Detmer's going, who's been really solid, coming off 2 quality starts, allowed 1 earned run and 4 earned. 2 of his last 3 starts, quality starts, 2.04 ERA. Last time out, though, 1 unearned run in 4 innings for Tampa Bay. He still gets the pitching edge here over Bradford. Just Rangers need it. You have this Texas team after this 4-game set with Seattle to wrap up the season, holding on to the spot here, 2.5 up on Houston. They want every win in this series, so they don't have to stress as much going into Seattle. You drop a couple of games here, that series in Seattle is going to be intense.
Yeah, no, they want to pick this game up. We thought yesterday could possibly be a little bit of a letdown spot, but you get the Angels, man, and they're just that bad. Difference here today's big pitching advantage for Detmers. Last game, he only went 4 innings at Tampa Bay because his pitch count was already at 93. 2 starts before that, both quality starts. He gets the pitching advantage here. This one, believe it or not, it's Angels and nobody for me. Home dog at a price that's obviously an overlay with Bradford on the road.
And
Look, got to remember, Texas 1 game over 500 on the road. They win at home, not so much on the road. Just the Angels are so damn bad. I've got to make that decision. Does Detmers outweigh? Does that pitching matchup outweigh how bad they are and Texas's need for the game?
And we have Houston at Seattle. Houston's the opposite of Texas. They below 500 at home, but great road team, 3rd best road team in baseball. They're getting it done. They get the win last night, and now M's lead the season series 8-3, but they've split the 4 in Seattle. You have Houston, who got a pretty good outing there from Verlander. We'll see what can be replicated today. Javier versus Kirby. Kirby has not been the same down the stretch of the season. 1-2, 5.64 ERA. Javier hasn't been much better, but he is coming off a nice outing there versus Baltimore. 1 run in 5 innings, 11 Ks, 2 walks. We'll see what happens here. Javier had a quality start for Seattle earlier this year. Mariners choking down the stretch. They've lost 4 straight, 5-11 their last 16. Just plus money here for a Houston team who plays good on the road. They've been here before. This is their time of year. This is where the experience really comes into hand. Give me Houston or nobody here.
Yeah, Houston or nobody. Look, the same story. Another young guy here, Kirby, 2nd year in the league. Last year goes only 130 innings. Now he's up to 178. And what do you know it? 1 quality start in the last 6 weeks. Who was that against? That was against Oakland. Go a little deeper into the Seattle's how bad they've been playing. So they are now they've lost 4 straight. Let me get my stats up here because I found this. This is how bad this team is looking when you look straight at it. So they've lost 4 straight, and they haven't beat a team that's a plus 500 team since they beat the Reds in Cincinnati some weeks ago. So they've lost 7 straight against teams that are 500 or better. They lost yesterday, obviously, to Houston. They got swept at Texas, and they were swept. Where else were they swept? They were swept somewhere else. Dodgers obviously swept them in Seattle. So 7 straight to teams that are 500 or better. The only teams they've beaten in this time span, going 5-11 over the last 16. They beat the A's. They swept the A's 3 games at Oakland, and they beat the Angels. We just talked about how god awful they are. So those are their 5 wins in their last 16 games. Houston, guys, we talk about this all the time. Unless you're dealing with somebody that's making ratings in the first place, then they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're not a handicapper. Okay, they're a tout. And if you're dealing with somebody that's a handicapper, unless they've got ratings on the road and at home, separate ratings, again, they still don't know what they're talking about. You cannot tell me a team like the Astros is the same. They're a completely different teams. Teams play better in some ballparks, play worse. Houston under 500 on the road. Under 500 at home on the road. Our second scoring runs, 5.8 runs per game on the road. 47-26. The second, that's 47-29. Is it? 47-29. The third best record in baseball on the road. They're just a completely different team. Take together with the way Seattle's falling, they're the dropping knife. Astros playing great on the road. Kirby, late season struggles. All these young guys, they get it up into those innings. Look, this is why they have inning counts on some of these young pitches. Houston to nobody in this one.
And we have Cincinnati at Cleveland. Cincy pretty much needs to win out here if they want any chance. 2.5 games back of the final wild card spot. They are coming off a win against Pittsburgh. It's not the 4-game losing streak. And they got Green on the bump today, who has been going terrific. 1-0, 1.93. In September. Last time out, 1 run, 7 innings, 14 Ks, 1 walk, and they still lost that game to the Twins. And it's up against Giolito, who has been a bit better lately. Was decent his last time out. Prior to that, 2 quality starts. Got to give Green the pitching edge here, though. And a Cincy team in absolute desperation mode. It's now or never. You got to win out here pretty much. 2.5 games back. Any loss here is really going to pin you out of it. So we'll see if they show up today, see if they have any fight. But with the pitching edge, it'd be worth a look at Cincinnati.
Okay, so we haven't caught Cincy right since Johnny Bench. Look, Cincinnati had made us a ton of money this year, but we've had a terrible run with them. We were on them in Green's last outing. He pitches a gem. The bullpen gives up 2 in the 9th, and we blow that game. Excuse me. And then we come back against Cincy with the Pirates on Sunday. This is the reason I like the Reds. Green is pitching lights out right now. He's pitching when this kid is on, this kid's electric, and that's what he looks like right now. 14 Ks, 1 walk his last outing. Reds coming off blowing a 9-0 game, a game that could go down, costing them their shot at the wild card. They're down 2-0. We have the Pirates the next day, Sunday. I couldn't see a young Cincinnati team bouncing back. Down 2-0. They came back. They did bounce back 4-2. Shows me a lot of heart in this team. Now you get your ace on the mound. You go into a team, Cleveland. They've been out of it. They scored 1 run in each of the last 2 games. We bet against the Orioles. We bet against the Guardians with the Orioles Sunday. A big 2-unit bet. Just they could not see how they're making they've got the Guardians overpriced right now. The Guardians are favored over the Orioles on Sunday, and this is more of the same. Basically a pick 'em game. Guardians, though, they're not going anywhere. Giolito on the mound. He's been garbage. He's been decent since this last little 3-game run, but Green's been great. And like I said, Reds absolutely need this game. Battle of Ohio. It'd be Cincinnati or nobody.
And we have the Nats at the Baltimore Nats struggling right now, 4-9 their last 13. Orioles, they go 4-3 on the trip. They're 3 wins away from clinching up the East. And they have won 8 of the last 9 meetings in this matchup, beating up on Washington. Pretty good pitching matchup. Gray versus Bradish. Gray been a bit back to form since he had his little skip in the rotation. 3 runs and 11 1/3. And then obviously you guys know his road success And then Bradish, who's just been absolutely lights out. 6 of his last 7 starts, quality starts, through 6 shutout innings his last time out versus Houston, had 6 shutout innings and a win against the Nats earlier this season. Big price here. Gray, obviously a road dog we like to back. A little bit enticing there for Washington. Slightest of leans there, but just can't get it done. Not against Bradish and not against Baltimore, looking to lock up the division. These teams who, obviously we talked about teams in no man's land a lot. These teams who are almost on the verge of no man's land, they want to get there. They want to be able to rest their guys down the stretch. So Baltimore, the more wins they can get, the sooner they can get them. Obviously, they want to get rested up.
Yeah, I want Washington in this spot. Another team we made with a ton of money with, Washington on the road and a pitcher, Gray on the road. But this is the Orioles, and Bradish is just going phenomenal right now. He's really become an ace. 6 of his last 7 starts, quality starts, 6 shutout innings his last game, 9 Ks, 2 walks. That was at Houston. Okay, and then he also threw 6 shutout innings against the Nats early this year. Just can't back the Nats. The price is an overlay. If you want to bet Bradish and the Orioles, the top team in the AL today, they're finally giving them a little respect, but they're giving them a little too much respect in this spot. So too high of a price, but I can't find the balls to back the Nats in this one. And just as we were talking, Ben, they just hit the Angels. As I told you, it was Angels and nobody. This game just went down. Sharps just took the Angels. We had to be Angels and nobody in that spot. Again, do we want the Angels going for us 2-9 their last 11 against the Texas team that absolutely needs wins? There's just better spots, but it was Angels and no one.
Then last game on the card, D-backs at the White Sox. D-backs currently holding on to that tie with Chicago. 1 game up on Miami. They need every win here. Davies versus Urena in this one. Pretty gross pitching matchup. Davies been skipped in the rotation. Hasn't been good in September. 6+ ERA, but they've won all 4 of his starts. And last time out, 3 runs, 4 innings against the Cubbies. We'll see how he goes in this one. Has an 8+ ERA and just 5 road starts this year. Then you have Urena, who's coming off his best start of the season. A little bit of a quality start. 1 run, 6 innings versus the Nats. Prior to that, roughed up for 6 runs by the Twins. Pitching edge going to give it ever so slightly to Davies. And I mean, ever so slightly. Pick your poison in this one. Urena looked good last time out. D-backs, obviously, need these wins in this wild card race. And I cannot back a White Sox team who showed a little bit of life against Boston, against an Arizona team in the midst of a wild card race.
They did. But they got a question mark with Robert. Leads the team with 30 homers, 80 RBIs. He's a question mark. Marte, he's missed the last 2 games for Arizona. 2 key players, 1 on each side, both question marks. Ben says Davies hasn't been good in September. I mean, he hasn't been good at all, but even especially in September, just hard to bet him as a road favorite. So, yeah, we'll wait to see what the lineups look like. If there's any reason to pull the trigger there. White Sox, I cannot pull the trigger on the White Sox. They've been horrible. But if the price is right, if Robert's out of the lineup, it's Arizona or nobody.
That's the Tuesday MLB card, guys. A little bit of a quick rundown. Obviously, no football coverage back until Thursday. If you guys want more of the MLB action, you guys want to see the bets, go sign up on the app or the website, howtobeatthebookie.com. And John, a happy birthday. I hope you have a good time there. I hope the weather clears up for you a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to go finish our trip up and spend a nice little couple of days together. We'll still be working. We're still getting the work done. Already sent out 2 MLB bets. Keeping our eye on a couple of football ones. Guys, we'll come back Thursday. I'll be back Thursday with a full preview of the weekend's football. But, guys, get on. 19-5-1 this weekend. We pushed last night. Vikings have 2 shots to get in the end zone Saturday, or we could have that. We could even be better than 79%. Doesn't stay like this full year. Now's the time. Become a member.
Yep, scorching hot, guys. Month out from NBA. Sign up on the website, and let's make some money.
Let's make some money.